today because I want to make sure your time is worthwhile because you're here live. San Francisco, Minnesota, Georgia, Oahu. Hi there, Brittany. It's so good to see you. California, Massachusetts, all over. Now, I got a throwback here with the audio. I'm going to turn it off. But if any of you have been massaging or doing body work or yoga for some time, do you remember this song from 20 years ago? This is, I used to have this on CD in my massage room, and I just had to bring it back. For those of you that have been practicing a long time, it's now on Spotify. Throwback there. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to share my screen and we're going to get started. If you want to drop your Instagram handle, I love a lot of people connect after the webinar. We'll go over community, but you can connect with each other. We'll connect with me. I'll drop mine in there. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you're following me there. And we'll stay connected even after this. So drop your handle on Instagram if you're there. And let me share my screen and I'll get a screen check. And then we are going to get right into it. Drop also what you hope to learn from this today so I can make sure that your time is well spent. Can you see this? Give me a screen and mic chat. Thumbs up. All right. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. Okay. Welcome. Hello. I'm Dr. Allison McLean. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a yoga teacher. I am a massage therapist of over 20 years and coach. And what we're going to go over today is how to replace your in-person salary online, how to earn 100K from home with an online wellness program. Yes, even if you have a license and you have your license and you can only work in state, or you completely use your hands and you have no idea how to bring that work online, we're going to go over it all now. Okay, here's our agenda. I'm going to go over why this is so important for you as a practitioner right now. And we're going to go over an outdated model and what the new modern model is. And then I'm going to teach you the 3 steps on how to create 100K from home to replace if you have a brick and mortar now, to replace your clinic salary. If you're working for someone else, how to replace that clinic salary, or if you're driving around from yoga studio to yoga studio, how to replace that income with your own program. Where I'm going to go over case studies. So you see that this process didn't just work for me. You will hear my story and you'll hear my client's stories. So you know that it works for people beyond me. And you'll see a variety of different types of stories and different types of practitioners. Then make sure you stay live to the end. Because you're live, I have a special bonus for you. It's not available to people watching on the replay. Although if you are on the replay, I do have a bonus for you too. But this is live for those people that are live only. It's at the end. So I do have a special offer for you. If you join the 100K blueprint, which I'll talk more about at the end, and then we're going to get into Q&A. So if you have specific questions about your audience, if you want an Instagram bio optimization question, if you have a question about the program, hot seat coaching, because you're live, you get it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you are here. You're in the right place. I will be looking through the chat. So just a couple of housekeeping. You can drop your questions in the chat and I will come back around and I'll answer them periodically and mostly at the end. So just drop your question in the chat and I will come to it. Okay. So if you feel like you're a practitioner and you've hit an income ceiling, meaning that the only way to bring in more revenue is to add more hours or to work more, then you're in the right place. If you feel like you've tried social media, but you're not sure what to say, you feel like it's landing to crickets, no one's really saying anything, no one's reached out, no one's bought, so you're not sure if it's worth your time, If you hosted workshops and you get people that sign up for your workshops, but maybe you would like more people in your workshops and webinars, maybe you, more importantly, want people to sign up for your program afterwards and you haven't yet figured that out, you're in the right place. If you already have an existing audience on Instagram or YouTube or Substack, for example, any social media platform, and you're getting people that reach out, but you're a hands-on practitioner or you are a yoga teacher and you work in person and you're not sure, A, if you can help them because maybe you have that license that's in state, or you're not even sure how you would help them because you do mostly work with your hands, but you do what you know you could help them because the problems are the problems that you solve, and you just need help putting the pieces together, you're in the right place. And you want more consistent, predictable, reliable revenue and income without working. We're going to go over all of that. So I know that you want 10K plus months and you don't want to be tied down to your location. You want to travel when you want to travel. You want to not work at 7 p.m. when you want to be home with your family or doing your own wellness practices and self-care. You want to add more revenue without adding more to your already crazy schedule. You don't need to add more. Your schedule is already maxed. So you want a clear way to help clients online without risking your license, with being ethical, right? Utilizing all your skills and certifications and knowledge that you have right now. You want to feel confident when someone reaches out to you and is like, hey, I resonate with your content. That last Substack article, that last Instagram post, it really resonated with me. I think you're the person to help me. And you look and you realize that they're not in your local community. You want to feel confident responding to them, knowing that you can help them and you have a way how. And you want to get paid for your hard work without sacrificing time with your family. So here's some staggering statistics. Over 70% of health and wellness practitioners are capped by their schedules. They're teaching 6 a.m. yoga classes. They're squeezing in massage and physical therapy sessions during their lunch breaks, during 5 p.m., 7 p.m., when they really want to be home. And so they're having these crazy, crazy long days, not to mention the documentation that they have to do outside of sessions. And it's all reliant on their body or their hands or have them physically having to be present right there to earn the revenue. And that is very limiting. It's very stifling. It means that their income is capped by their time, their body, or their location. And the problem with this is that I remember when I was 25 and I was in this exact position, I had my own massage clinic and I was literally capped by how many massages I could give in a day and in a week. And you'll hear a little bit about my story, and that is true. There's only so many yoga classes you can teach in a week. There's only so many body work or physical therapy sessions that you can do. And when you go above that, your quality of work suffers. Raise your hand, drop in the chat. I know all of you do your wellness practices. If you've ever been to a yoga class, and no shame, no judgment here, right? Because we've all been in this position where you've gone to a practitioner or a yoga class and you knew that they were exhausted and burnout, right? And you knew that they were good at what they were doing and you just wanted their help, yet you hurt for them. Or you were bummed because you're like, shoot, it's Friday and I know I'm the last session of their day and I know they're super exhausted, but I really need the help. Drop it in the chat if you've been there. I've been there because I go to my own yoga classes all the time. I go to my own practitioner sessions, and I've been there where I knew the practitioner was exhausted and it hurt. It hurt. I wanted to actually cancel and be like, go home and rest. And I've been there as a practitioner too, showing up exhausted because I was afraid to cancel a class. I was afraid to cancel or not schedule a session there because I didn't want to miss out on the revenue, right? So no shame, no judgment. It's not your fault if you're in this position because you were just not taught another way. You hit income ceilings. You are missing family dinners. There's no path to, you don't know a path to earn without adding more hours to your schedule because you were taught, it's not your fault. You were taught an outdated model. You were taught a system that doesn't work anymore. And I know because I did it 10 years ago when I started my business as brick and mortar practitioner. I was in this exact same position and I saw my gurus do it. I saw my mentors do it. And I thought, this is just how you do it. You just try to take as many people as you can. When the people are coming, when the teachers are asking for subs and the opportunities are coming, you got to say yes. You got to get them in. You got to get them scheduled at 5 p.m. You got to squeeze them in during your lunch because then they might say no or they don't want to wait. You got to take insurance because you're afraid that people aren't going to pay your cash rates. So then you take an insurance and then your reimbursement is low, or you're stuck in an insurance mill model where you're having to see 2 to 5 people at the same time. Been there. You feel like you have to be tied down to your location. You're chasing referrals. You're having to go boots on the ground, door to door, getting blocked by front office staff when you're just trying to make referral connections. And now you're like a candy dweller, candy giver, outer purser, trying to please the front office so you can just get into providers or do lunch and learn when they just want to have the free lunch and they forget about you the next day and the referrals aren't consistent. You have no idea what to post on social media. So you try to make a post. It takes you like 3 hours to make one post. You only get 5 likes. And then you wonder if it's worth your time. And so you end up going to your comfort zone, which is spending more money on certifications, hoping that that's what's going to bring in reliable clients and revenue. And I've been there. I am a certification junkie. I've got a whole wall behind me. I've got a whole wall up at my house. I'm not saying don't, I'm saying continue with the certifications, but that's not what's going to get you clients, right? And what happens as when you do this, how you end up feeling at the end of most days is exhausted, overworked. And here's the sad part. You start to resent your work. You start to resent your clients. And that just breaks my heart because you love your clients. You got into this because you want to make an impact. You want to help people. Or even worse, you consider quitting. The numbers are staggering. The amount of practitioners that end up quitting because they're tired, they're overworked. And the solution can be really simple. That's what we're going over today. It doesn't have to mean adding more hours or getting stuck in that grind system. I don't want you to quit for 2 reasons. Because number one, you've spent a lot of money, a lot of time on the certifications, the trainings. I have my doctorate. I spent over 6 figures on a degree. And if you quit, right, you have to start all over in something else, doing something else. And that money, now gone. That time, gone. Number 2 reason not to quit is because your audience needs you specifically. Your community needs you. And I'm going to talk about this when we talk about the offer. No one can replicate your experience and your expertise. And so you are the person, when someone reaches out to you or comes up to you in a workshop or end of a class and says, I think I really need to work with you. Or do you have a stretch for XYZ? It's because they trust you specifically. They don't want to go to another practitioner. And if you stop the work, then you're not able to help them. They might not get the help that they need. And again, the reason why a lot of practitioners are stuck in this mess is because no one till today has taught you how to earn ethically, how to earn more revenue, and doing it in a sustainable way that doesn't burn you out, that doesn't lead you to being exhausted and considering quitting or starting to resent your schedule, starting to resent your clients, that whole mess as well. The problem is not your skill set. It's not your certifications or your degrees or the thought that you might need to add this one or that one, right? You can keep doing that in a sustainable pace, but it isn't that. It's the business model is outdated. It's like from olden days or like more patriarchal times, and it's just not meant for our healing society these days. We weren't taught as practitioners how to earn a livelihood that wasn't based upon our physical labor or us overworking and overgiving. And whether that's being in a session or documentation to prove to insurance that your sessions are justified, right? We don't know any other way. Here's the shift that's needed. You don't need more hustle. You don't need to do more, whether it's more documentation, whether it's more sessions, whether it's more classes. You just need a better system overall. And when you have that system, then you don't have to rely on insurance. You don't have to bill session by session or by the hour. You don't need to bring flowers and candy to the front desk to rely on those referrals. You will have more predictable revenue. You will help more people. You will scale into the multiple figures, making that impact that you really wanted in a sustainable way. Not only that, you will help clients more effectively. The work you're doing, yes, even if you're using your hands, can be more effective. And I know because I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years. Oh, Michelle, you left me a design there. I don't even know how that happened. And you're building this business around your ideal energy, what lights you up, your ideal schedule, so that you stay energized and not based upon insurance's calendar, not based upon your referrals calendar or your referral system saying, well, you should take insurance because I can refer you more people. Or your clients' calendars who say, oh, I work till 5 o'clock, so I really need an evening appointment, right? When you learn this other model, this is why it's so important, you're going to be able to help more people. And that's the whole reason why you're here. I know this. You're going to be able to create generational wealth. So you'll be able to set your kids up so they don't have to work and grind. So you're going to heal generations forward and generations back. Doing this work, I've healed my parents, my relationship with my parents who are entrepreneurs, and changed their perspectives about entrepreneurship and making money. You're going to be able to pay off your loans. You're going to be able to invest in more certifications because you'll have more financial resources. You'll be able to work less without having to start over. You're going to be able to work less utilizing the skill set that you have right now. You have everything you need right now. You have the audience size that you need. You have the skill sets you need. You don't need anything more for this system to work for you. And when I say go online, when I say online wellness program, I don't mean that you have to abandon what works. Like if you have a job that's paying revenue for you and it keeps the lights on in your house and pays the bills, or you have a brick and mortar practice that pays the bills, and you love the manual work and using your hands and being in person, I don't mean you have to give any of that up. When I first started off and moved into the online world, I thought that meant it was like one or the other, right? And I'm going to teach you a way where it can be a hybrid. Or if you do want to go 100% online, I'm pretty much 100% online these days. I just have a few people from my brick and mortar days from 10, 15 years ago that come in, but I get to choose how many people I want to see. And I get to choose who comes in my door. Like I love working with my old long time patients. And so I keep doing it. Right. And I dictate my time. I dictate my pricing. So it doesn't mean that you have to leave your practice. It just means that your practice, whatever you're doing, or your job or your yoga classes that you love, you get to choose how much of that you want to do. And it stops being the only source of your revenue. right? You begin to bring in revenue in another way. And that's what I've been able to create. I feel so much freedom, flexibility in my business. I love showing up to work every day. I love my commute. I walk down the driveway into my she shed, right? So it can be very unique in how you visualize it. I love working from home. I love being able to go up to my house and on my lunch break that I declare how long it is. And sometimes it's 2.5 hours. I make my salad from fresh, so it doesn't have to be stored in a container and get all wilty and blah, blah, blah. I hate taking lunches. I get to make my food from scratch and I love it. And I then go sit out in my garden and I'm a sunbathing. I love the sun. I grew up in Rochester, New York. I'm in California now because the sun is so important to me. And I sit out in the sun for 10 to 15 minutes. And our family here, just a little behind the scenes, we are a rescue family. So right now we have 4 rescue animals. Just a couple months ago, we had 5. We had to say goodbye to one. And I see them playing around in the yard, and then I get to go on my client calls after that. And when I show up to my client calls, I feel so rejuvenated. I'm present. I'm there. I'm excited. I love coaching them. I love my clients. I love my business. And I have time for my family. I have time for my family. Whoops, we're going backwards. Okay, but just know that where I am now, a multiple 6-figure earner a year with a very lean team. So my take home, my profit is something that I could never, it's 50 to 60% profit transparently. I could never achieve that in a brick and mortar. The overhead is just way too high with if you have staff or you have rent, it's the equipment. Being online, you can be very, very lean. But I have been exactly where you are. And I thought it was all these certifications, right? I was a massage therapist, started out 20 years ago, personal trainer. These are not all my certifications. I have a lot more because I'm a certification junkie. And I thought that getting more certifications, okay, so I was a massage therapist, 25 years old. I had a busy practice. It was full. I was fully booked. And I just remember thinking, I'm exhausted. I can't add in more sessions to my day. I want to help people more effectively. I'm 25. It's only going downhill from here, right? Because I'm just going to get older. My energy is going to decrease. How much sessions I'm going to be able to do is just going to go downhill. So that just means I'm at the peak of my career right now, you know? And so I was like, okay, I want my weekends back. I don't want to work 7 p.m. anymore. I want to be able to scale in my career as I get older. So I'm going to go back to school and get my doctorate in physical therapy. So that's what I did. I spent over 6 figures, close to multiple 6 figures, in my doctorate for physical therapy, thinking that was the answer. I love the education, graduated, ended up in a mill clinic where I was one of my paychecks didn't even cover my student loans. So I was barely making ends meet with multiple 6 figures of student loans. And I had a crazy schedule where I was treating 2 to 5 people at the same time. My boss would discourage me from using my hands. There was nothing about the nervous system, which I love bringing in the nervous system work as a massage therapist. It just did not fit me. So I thought, oh, okay. Well, I love yoga. I've been a yoga practitioner of over 20 years. I've always wanted to combine yoga with physical therapy and massage because I don't know if you see there, I had 3 major surgeries on my wrist, and it really was the combination of yoga, massage, and physical therapy that healed me. So that's what I want to do. I'll get my yoga training, and that way I'll get out of this mill model. And I did that, and I ended up starting my own business. And the truth is, I ended up in the same position for working for myself. I kept piling on certifications, thinking, okay, this is going to be the answer to how I get out of this grind. But what ended up happening was an example day was teaching at 7 a.m. and then seeing physical therapy clients, a couple sessions, and then teaching a noon class, and then seeing more sessions, and then teaching an evening class. And then I would get home at like 10:30, 9:30, 10:30 at night, and I would wake my daughter up and make my husband very angry. And then I would have to do the whole thing over again. I started the next day with a BNI meeting because I thought that's what you did. My mentors, my gurus did the same thing. The weekends I led yoga teacher trainings and workshops. I was exhausted. I was missing moments with my family. And it wasn't till I got a diagnosis that caused a wake up call for me. I was diagnosed with two things at the same time. I was diagnosed with a genetic mutation that puts me at higher risk for cancer. It's called Lynch syndrome. And my very first cancer screen, they call rectal cancer stage 1. I'm super, super lucky. I did have to have a surgery, but it was caught early. And that set me along this path of being like seeing myself at 50 years old and still stuck in this grind because there wasn't an answer. And yet here I am, like I wanted to be well. And so I had to figure it out. Invested in a lot of money and time for masterminds and outside of the wellness world, outside of the rehab, the physical therapy world, and the coaching world, and the online world. What no one else was doing it. This was back in 2017. And I had to figure out how to rebuild my business. And essentially, what I did do was burn it all down in a way that I don't recommend. This is why I'm teaching you guys the shortcut now, and rebuild it in a new way, in a way that supports having a business that supports my family and lifestyle, the one that I want to live, so I can do this work in an effective way instead of having your business control your life and you're trying to fit your lifestyle into your business, right? That's what ends up happening. And I did this first as that practitioner. I went online as a physical therapist, massage therapist, yoga teacher, and a coach, and started selling online and got successful there. And then the pandemic hit. So this is prior to the pandemic. And people started asking me, Elsa, how do you do it? I want a business like yours. I want a hybrid. I want to grow in person and online. And that's how I got into the business coaching world. And so I know a lot of you might thinking it when you hear this story, okay, well, what would I sell online? I'm not even sure what I would sell online. I do too much hands-on work, or I do taping, or I have specific energy modalities where people have to be in person. How do I bring this online? And we're going to talk about that. But first off, the solution isn't more work. It's knowing that you have a properly structured program that allows you to leverage your expertise for more revenue without being time and location freedom. So you have to go in with this mindset of knowing that you're not just going to replicate what you did in person. You have to bring in a new model. And so if you feel like, okay, I feel like I kind of know that. I've been kind of posting online, but it's not bringing in clients, my workshops. People don't want my online programs. They only still want to work with me in person. We're going to go over why all that happens now. Because you're not doing the wrong things in your workshops. You're not doing the wrong things on Instagram. It isn't your audience side. It's because you just weren't taught how to build the systems for your online program in a way that works for you, that sets you up for success. So when you have the process, this shift can be quick and simple. You can literally take this process. I have clients who learn the process. They come and they work with me. In the first 2 weeks, we create their online program. And we get all the deliverables and the pricing and everything. They know how they can bring their in-person modalities online. And then we have the process of what to say, what to do, where to find the people. And they literally sign a client the next day because it's all set up. They don't have to burn it all down. It's utilizing your skill set and what you have already You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of fancy software and all the things. You literally already have all the tools. Okay, so here is the blueprint that I created that I had to learn for myself that I'm going to teach you. And I call it the online wellness blueprint. The 3 steps that you need to go through to bring your in-person work online and to start signing clients more predictably and more consistently without burning out. The first, we're going to break this down. The first is having that online offer framework. So what really goes into that and what makes it successful? Then where do you find the people? And what do you say? You need a marketing system and one that's repeatable and reliable. And part of that marketing system is doing workshops, but not to pay the bills. It's part of a 6-figure lead generation system that allows you to build know, like, and trust in your community because they already love you. And it's built for conversion. It's built to help attract the people that are in the room. It's built to help you fill the room. And then when the people are in the room, to convert to the next step. Because I know a lot of you are already leading your own workshops in person. This works for in-person workshops to online programs, or online workshops or webinars to online programs. It's vice versa. So what you need first, and step number 1, that online offer. Here are some mistakes that a lot of practitioners make. Is that they just go from that grind session by session model. They bring that same mindset into the online work. So they're selling session by session, getting themselves caught in that time for money trade instead of focusing on the transformation. So they're trying to replicate their in-person work exactly online. That's not how it works. They still charge by the hour or by the session. They make the online program about the modality, not the outcome, meaning they're selling and talking about yoga or breath work or a specific tool like McKenzie technique or EFT, and not the result or the transformation. Or because they were so burnt out and exhausted from the in-person grind that now they're too hands off for their online program. And I don't mean their physical hands. What I mean is that they've heard about digital programs or virtual programs. And so they spend months building a $97 online program, or even $497 online program that just people go through independently. They just put up there because they want to make passive income, but they don't want to deal with people, right? They're sick of all the people and they are exhausted. They just want people to and they have a mindset of like, well, I earned all these certifications. I have all this knowledge. I can help people. I'm just going to put it into this membership or this program. People can just go through it and do it at their own pace. But here's the truth. During the pandemic, there was a ton of those wellness type programs and memberships, and people got burnt out of them. If people, and especially with AI these days, you actually have to be hands in your program, but it can be in a very sustainable way. It doesn't take hours a week. But you need touch points because people, they're not like practitioners, right? When you're serving clients of like busy moms or active professionals, they're busy. They don't want to learn about anatomy and the body the way that you do because you're a practitioner. They don't want to learn about energy systems and the nervous system. They just care about what gets them the results. And that's where the mistake is. And then another place where a lot of practitioners get stuck is, okay, well, where do I host this online program? Do I need Samcar? Do I need Kajabi or Kartra? Like, what's my checkout experience? How do I send emails? They get stuck in the tech and the software sides of things when literally that can be solved in 1 hour. Okay. So when you know your program and when you're able to know the tech side of things, quickly utilizing what you have, you don't need to spend more money on fancy software. You can, but you don't have to. Then, and you are confident in the program that you're delivering, you know the results that you're getting people without using your hands, then you can charge for $1,500 or $3,000 programs because you're not selling the modality. You're not selling a session, right? You can make more impact in fewer hours. You bring in consistent revenue. You have online clients without the burnout. You have freedom and flexibility in your business. So here is the process. The first thing that you need for your online program is identifying who the program is for. Sometimes this is called the niche, right? But you don't have to have a niche, as you'll see in an example. But it's the person, your ideal client that you want for the program. And it can be broad or it can be very narrow. It doesn't matter. You just need to know who your program's for. Then you need to identify what is the result or the transformation or the program promise. When they come in, what will they achieve? Because here's the truth, they don't want more breath work. They don't even care about taping, or they don't care about a certain exercise modality, somatics. They don't care about any of that. What they care about is if I work with Brittany, if I work with Raven, if I work with Lisa, will I get the result that I need? Will my back pain go away? Will I stop waking up in the middle of the night, sweating and worrying and not being able to get back to sleep? That's what they care about. And that's why, and that is how, if you work with your hands or you do special exercises in person or on the table or energetically, if you consider how you can get that same result online, and there's many, many ways how I help my clients, then you open your brain to working with more people and more effectively helping them online without using your hands. And then you need to price it, of course. How long is the program? What's the price? Where do you host it? The thing is, all these parts of your online program are developed within an ecosystem of your business, of the audience size that you have right now, the goals that you have right now, your expertise, your certifications, your trainings, the way that you already help people get results, and your own story, your own experience. And so you might say, okay, well, I'm just going to drop all that into AI and I'll have AI create a program for me. The problem with that is that unless you have, so I've created an offer bot that I give my clients, and I've trained it with my frameworks to ensure that the program that someone is creating can take their in-person modalities and bring them online. And it uses my frameworks and my IP, my intellectual property, and my steps that I walk people through in my programs. And so it goes deeper than ChatGPT or Claude, which stays superficial because it only has access to blogs online or parts and snippets of books and articles, right? You're not getting that full, deeper picture to help you develop an effective online program right now. So these are the components of the online program that you need to bring into play to make it effective for you and make it effective for your audience. And so this is the work that I do in my program when I'm working with people. I need to look at their exact experience, their ecosystem, how they're getting people results, what's their audience size now, because the audience size will dictate whether someone is going to charge a $97 product to our online program to bring in $10,000 months, or do they need a higher ticket? right? You can't develop this one without another. It has to be done within an ecosystem. And so when you're developing this within this ecosystem, my client Betty here, when she came to me, she was teaching classes out in the community. She had a small but very loyal audience that would reach out to her and say that they needed help, but yet she worked on an island. So half of the year, a lot of the people would leave the island, but then not reach out to her for help. And what happened is then they would come back to the island and then they were all messed up in their body and really struggling because she didn't help them when they were gone. And her revenue would have these huge swings because of the island economy, right? And she was overwhelmed by tech. She was exhausted. She was overworking a ton, trying to make up for the huge revenue swings, right? And she came to me exhausted with a partially filled one-to-one practice. She wanted to bring in an online program because she wanted to help the people when they left offline island. And she's also a somatics practitioner. She knew that she could help people online, but she didn't know how. So what we did was simplify her tech and her software. And I literally walked her through, hand holded it, how to share screen on Zoom, for example, how to teach her first online workshops and webinars. I taught her on Instagram. She was on Instagram, kind of posting, just dabbling. No one was really, people were saying, "Oh, I love this," or "I love seeing you in class." People were coming up to her after class and after her workshops, but they weren't taking the step to work with her more. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have everything you need. We just needed small tweaks and refinement. It wasn't burning it down at all. And a lot of you are right here. It's so simple and you're so close. And some people just quit when they're so close. And for her, it was really within our 6 months of working with me, she filled her one-to-one practice. She hit her first six-figure year last year. We brought in an online program and her goal was to hit 10 people. She oversold it, surpassed her goals, and had 15 people. She brought in extra thousands of dollars in 1 month through her workshop, online workshop, which she had confidence to teach and sell out her online program. And now she has a repeatable system and process. And that's how she hit six figures working less hours than when she first came to me. So the next thing that you need is an online marketing system. And this is where it breaks down because you're so focused on the program, on what to teach, what to charge, where to host it, and all those things. You don't put time into this. And you're concerned that if you show up on social media and invest a lot of times, because sometimes it takes 3 hours to make one post, that it's not going to be worth your time in the end. So instead, you just show up and you teach tips and education, which doesn't differentiate you from any other practitioner on Instagram at all or Facebook. It's not connecting with your audience. It leads to Betty, like when she came to me, where people are like, oh, that sounds nice, but they're not taking the step to reach out. Or you post and pray. You just post when you can and then you ghost and you don't connect with your audience because you're not sure it's worth your time. You don't have a real strategy combining your in-person expertise and your strengths of how you love to show up, because online you have imposter syndrome, you're afraid of being judged and criticized. And so you're not have a process that utilizes your strength so you can show up confidently with your small audience, because you don't need a massive audience. And you don't have a system to make it repeatable and reliable, whether that's in person or online, because you can market in person to fill your online programs. So when you shift and feel more confident in marketing and know that you have all the tools and you're relying on your strengths in an aligned way, you will attract people anywhere you show up. So if you're at Trader Joe's or you're at a networking event, a Chamber of Commerce event, or you're doing a workshop, wherever you show up, in person or online, you know that you'll have a system to reliably take the appropriate person in a aligned way to the next step, to your online program. And you don't have to be on social media all the time. You don't have to have your phone glued to your hip. I post 2 pieces of content a day, and I only spend once I spend 90 minutes to 2 hours. I have a batch time in the beginning of my week, then I schedule it out. And I only spend 10 to 20 minutes a day beyond that, where I connect with my audience. And if I'm traveling or on vacation, I don't do it then. I just schedule out. I don't spend hours and hours to create one post. And sometimes my post flops, but it doesn't matter because I have a reliable system that always brings me in clients. And when you're showing up consistently in person to networking events, if that's your strength, doing workshops, if that's your strength, connecting with other practitioners, if that's your wheelhouse that you love, and adding in an online channel, it's a powerful combination. And you only need one online channel to make this work, right? You don't need to be on YouTube and Substack and Instagram and Threads and Pinterest. Like, you only need one. But when you have that in-person and online combination, it is so powerful that it has a ripple effect. So if someone sees your post, a local practitioner that you met at a networking event can see your post online. It keeps you top of mind. So you don't have to go to that referral source and give the front office those chocolates or do the lunch and learn. You're now staying top of mind through your online marketing. And people will refer you. I've had clients where they've just showed up posting a couple times a week, and they have friends, practitioners, connections they've made at certifications and seminars and conferences that a practitioner, I had a client, she had a practitioner that was out of her state, but saw her post about the pelvic floor physical therapy that she does and yoga. They referred a client to her because of her Instagram post. You also have people that are, now when you're showing up online, you are going to get people that are reaching out to you outside your local community. So you will have a process because now you have an online program where you can help them. So my client, Katie here, she came to me. She had just 2,000 followers. She didn't have a niche. So if you know here, if you see there, it says mindfulness, yoga, meditation. It sounds like a lot of you online, right? There's no differentiation in the marketplace. But that was okay. We just started showing up. I taught her my Instagram tactics where she didn't need a niche. She just started showing up, speaking to her audience. And through that, her niche emerged. So you see how her bio changed. It leaned more towards trauma and regulation of the nervous system. And in just a few months, her followers increased to 5,000 followers. And now she has 28.5 thousand followers. That is business and life changing. My client Alice here, she's in America, Italian living in America, and she decided that she wanted to speak Italian on her account. And again, she didn't have a niche, but because she was brand new to business, she didn't really have any clients. She didn't have any consults. She just started posting, and we kept refining and refining her Instagram post, and she started going viral. And now she has 14,000 followers. So she has more followers. Both of these people have more followers than me. And she started getting consults and started signing clients. So Katie had hit her first 6-figure year last year. So you can start signing clients. Both of these people started signing clients, not when they started having those bigger audiences, but while they were growing your audience. So you can sign clients while you're growing your audience. You don't need a massive audience. And when you do start growing your audience, it can change everything. Personally, I've gotten brand deals. I have a brand sponsorship where I'm paid monthly. Not, and I have a small audience on Instagram. It's 12,000 followers. They came because of that audience on Instagram. I have signed many, many clients from Instagram, and I don't have a massive audience. And you might be looking at those other clients and saying, okay, well, they're younger. I've been a practitioner for decades and decades. It can work if you're an experienced practitioner as well. My client, Sharon, she's been a practitioner for over 30 years. And she had, when she started on Instagram, she had 800 followers and she was posting these beautiful pictures of flowers, but didn't know what to say or what to post or even how to deal with the tech of like figuring it out for Instagram to fill her classes. And we did that work together. She didn't have a niche either. And through posting, she stumbled across her own niche of speaking to knitters. And now she has gone viral. And just in a few short weeks, now has almost 5,000 followers. And she has filled her first online program for knitters. It was a brand new program. We had to close it because at 20 people, she actually signed, I think 21 or 22. Her nervous system started to freak out. And she was like, I've never taught this many people live on Zoom before. And I was like, okay, you're sold out. So she sold out and she's running another round again right now. And she filled that one too. So it is possible to start growing your audience no matter where you're starting online. So the process that you need is to combine in person and online that plays to your strength. You need an aligned way to show up online that doesn't feel slimy or salesy or feeling like you're having to convince people or push people or chase people. None of that icky stuff. You need a process that will help fill your workshops and a system that allows you that no matter where you show up, if it's a vendor table, if it's a workshop, if it's a network, if it's talking to a referral, if it's at a conference, that you know how to utilize every opportunity without feeling graspy or gimmicky. And that is the process that you need. And when you have that, so my client, Rachel, she came to me. She has a small audience on Instagram. Her strength is in person. And she's an acupuncturist and wanted to sell more of her online functional medicine program. She was depleted. She was stuck at 3 to 5K revenue months, even though she'd been a practitioner for decades. She was trapped in that time money cycle. She wanted to spend more time with her son. She has an autoimmune condition that she wanted to have, she was exhausted. She wanted to care for herself better. She didn't have a system to bring in clients. She thought she just had to post on Instagram more, but she didn't have a strategy. And actually, what we did was get a system that played to her strength. We built a powerful marketing system that utilized her community connections, where she only show up on Instagram when she wanted. It wasn't Instagram heavy. So you don't have to be Instagram heavy or YouTube heavy if you don't want to. It was more in person to her online functional medicine program. And that led to consistent 5-figure months. In fact, she just showed up on a call and she said, Allison, this whole entire year, I've hit 14,000 months or higher. And it feels like I don't even have to work for it. She didn't even show up. She didn't even send an email that month. And she hits consistent 5-figure months. She's on track for a multiple 6-figure business. She hit her first 6-figure year last year. We created her marketing system funnel. She has more energy. She spends more time with her family. And now she has a repeatable system. She's actually hired some contractors who help deliver her online program. And so now she has a scalable model. So you might be thinking, okay, all right, I can, if I know what to say on Instagram, if I know what to post, then I can, start to fill my program. But what about my workshops? What about if I'm filling workshops or I really want to do more workshops, but they don't fill fully? I don't want to lose those because I get paid, $600 or a few $1,000 from a workshop. So here's the thing. Your mindset with workshops has to change. Workshops aren't going to pay your bills alone. And when you rely on them that way, then it gets into a workshop grind. You need a system where you're not doing these mistakes, where you're not teaching everything in your workshop so your clients don't need you after that. Or I used to fire hose people so much in my workshops that then they wouldn't implement because they had so much knowledge after a workshop. A lot of you are doing workshops with no clear offer at the end because you don't know that program from step number 1. You're not seeding your program through the workshop. So your clients coming to the workshop or webinar or whatever you're doing have no idea that you even offer a program, or they're not primed for it and ready for it. And there's no follow-up system. So when you have a workshop system paired with the marketing system, paired with your online offer, then you build trust in a room with people that are buyers, right? With both Sharon and Alice and Katie, who built their audience, it wasn't just going viral, right? To go viral, they actually build an audience of buyers, and then those people come and they fill your workshop room, and they're primed and ready because you have an Instagram strategy that now primes them for your program. So then when you have a follow-up system from your workshop, like for example, if you do consultations, or if you have a low ticket offer for the end of your workshop, attendees who come to the workshop are pre-sold and ready to buy for you when at the end of the workshop. They're ready for the next step with no need to be salesy, slimy, or pushy. And workshops, I love workshops. I used to lead a workshop or 2 a month, sometimes 3. So hundreds of workshops in my decades of owning my own business. And even before I owned my own business, so prior to a decade ago, I taught workshops for my boss, for my guru, for my mentor. So I've made all the mistakes. And I've had a ton of workshops that didn't fill and that didn't convert. And that doesn't mean that workshops are bad or that they won't work for you. And if you get rid of them because of those reasons that you feel that they're taking too much time, you're missing out on an opportunity to get paid to market. As practitioners, especially if you're teaching classes as well, you're in a very unique position where you get paid to market, right? A lot of other businesses and industries are paying Instagram and Facebook and Google ads for marketing. But you can show up and have a workshop where you're paid $1,000 or $2,000 and it's marketing. Or your classes, even if you can't pitch or promote yourself. I used to teach yoga for a corporate center, and I used to get clients from there reliably all the time. So these classes, these workshops, they're the bridge between your free content and your clients. They're the bridge between your emails, your Instagram posts, your free lead magnets to getting clients. And they are so effective. So here's the workshop process that you need in combination with your marketing system and your online program. You need to have a specific topic that speaks to a result and speaks to a person that is in alignment with the program that you're selling. So if your program is for back pain, your workshop better have something to do about back pain and better not be about generalized self-care, right? Or getting energy. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. So you need a specific topic. You need to have it result oriented, and you need a unique solution. If you're doing back pain, please, 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 please don't teach your people cat and camel and to drink water and eat healthy. They can learn that from AI. You need to have a unique framework, and I know you have it because you all are experienced, or else you wouldn't be here today, utilizing your unique story and certifications and trainings that you already have to stand out and differentiate yourself and be memorable. You need to seed your program. And you need to have that clear offer at the end, know the offer, and then also be ready to present your offer as an invitation, not slimy, not salesy, not pushy, but as an invitation. And you're going to present it with confidence. And that is the process in combination with the marketing system and the online offer that becomes repeatable. So my client, Casey, she came to me. She's a physical therapist, online medicine practitioner. When she first started, she just started her business, ground zero. No clients, no audience, no email list, not on social media at all. Ground zero, had nothing. The first couple of weeks, we got her online offer up and ready to go. And then within the first 6 weeks or 2 months, we had her first workshop. We did her marketing system. She knew how, she got her Instagram profile up, her bio, and started posting. She knew what to say, how to post, the tech, how to add the words on the screen, all the stuff, and had her bio optimized for conversion for buyers. And then we got her first live workshop. Now, her strength was to be in person. So she didn't have an audience. So she taught one of my systems that I teach in my program how to borrow an audience. So she collaborated with a facility that had an audience, and her very first workshop with no audience, or she doesn't have an audience or anything, she had 40 people sign up and show up live in person. And she went to consultations afterwards. She booked consultations and she signed her very first clients. All of this within a couple months of just working with me from ground zero to that. So it can happen quickly and effectively when you know what to do. So I went through her whole program, and now she has the repeatable system that will get her to 10K months. So here again is a recap of all that you need, this repeatable system. Number one, you need to translate your expertise online. And remember, it's not about the modality of the exercise or the technique, EFT, breathwork, taping, certain movements, somatics. It's about the result and packaging it in a way that works with your strengths, your audience. You're not selling sessions, you're selling the transformation. And you're speaking to a person, a specific person that would be your ideal client. Number two, you need to utilize your current audience and grow, right? You need both. The audience that you have now, just like Casey came to me, 0 was enough for her to sign her first few clients. So if you have 200 followers or less on Instagram, you have 30 people on your email list, it's enough to start signing clients this week. And all of you have so much more potential to grow an audience. And again, it's life changing. My life, I had all the imposter syndromes of Instagram like you, and I actually love showing up to Instagram. I don't want to be on it all the time, but I love the connections I've made and the people I work with because of Instagram. It really can change your whole entire life. And here's the best part. You can do it from your pajamas, from home, for free. It's your time investment. And when you have a strategy that makes that time effective, it'll be well worth your time. It'll never be a waste of time. And then you can utilize your workshops and your webinars so they're not just paying the bills. They're part of your system that helps you bring in consistent and reoccurring clients into your program. So that is the steps. And so you might be thinking, okay, well, I think I might need help figuring out how to price my program, how to bring my in-person experience and expertise online and utilizing my strengths. Where do I start with all of this? I'm not sure what to say on Instagram. I'm not sure how to grow on Instagram. I invite you to join me in the 100K online practice blueprint. It's everything that you need to build a sustainable online program and repeatable system that'll get you to 6 figures and beyond. Step by step, I walk you through each step along the way. And what you get over the 6 months working with me is opportunity to get coached by me weekly. It's not a program where you're going to show up and be lost in the crowd. And the owner is never going to know your business, is never going to know your offer, is never going to know your strength. I will know your business. You get feedback from me each week if you want. So you never stay stuck. You always know the answers. You will have step-by-step video guidance that you can watch on your own if you want. If you don't want to watch that, I have built, actually, I'm going to release it this week and I'll show you here a bot that will walk you through exactly where to go in my program and how to use my program specifically to get the results. So with that offer and that ecosystem I was telling you about, when you sign up, the first thing you will do is fill out a brief form with me. And then you can take that form and drop it into an AI bot that I built utilizing my frameworks. And you can say, here's my goals. Here's where I'm stuck. Here's the modalities that I use. Where do I start in the program? And I'll tell you exactly which lesson to watch and the questions to ask me on the calls. There's weekly hot seat coaching, so you can get Instagram bio feedback from me. You can get personalized feedback from me on a post that did well, so you can replicate it. Or if one flopped, you'll understand why. You'll get personalized feedback on your workshops. I'll help you build your registration page and you'll get feedback on the messaging, so you always know what to say. You'll get feedback on if your workshop didn't fill or if it didn't convert, you'll know why. So then you can fix that problem for good. The bot will tell you exactly where to go in the program. And then I have another bot that helps you build your offer. And along this way, you're going to get access to the community. Now, I feel, because I already have a lot of practitioners in there, and it's not massive, there isn't hundreds. They are such, it's one of the best community in the industry. They are so nourishing. I actually had a client say this. She goes, your community is so nourishing. I've never had another community like this. They are so supportive. They support each other on Instagram. They hold each other accountable. They cheer each other on. They pick each other up. They are there. It's 6 months. So you get to know people. There's no competition because, again, I'm teaching you how to differentiate. No one can replicate what you have. No one has your exact story, your health journey, and your expertise. So everyone knows that they stand out on their own. And so there isn't, competition or worry about what someone else is doing. It's all for inspiration. And so you'll get support from others and so much more. When you come in, you also will get that roadmap from my program to point you in the direction right away. So here's a sneak peek behind the scenes. You'll get access to my step-by-step process that'll help you build your premium online offer that will sell itself, because again, it's based upon the result, the promise, not the modality or not the sessions. It's going to get you out of that time for money trade. It's going to allow you to scale to 6 figures and beyond without overworking. It's going to be priced for your audience. It's going to be built for your ecosystem. So I'm going to help you develop your signature process. How to know where to store it, what software to use, what to do with tech, the tech without tears. So if you're like Betty, who really struggled with tech, that I will help you through that. You can share your screen and show up, and I'll walk you through it step by step by step. I have a builder that helps you build your offer, that points you in the right direction so you know exactly which lesson and module to watch so you're never wasting time. You get your marketing program where you'll learn how to combine your strengths, the in-person marketing with online marketing tactics. You'll know exactly where to market if you want to be a podcast guest, how to make sure that your website is optimized for conversion if you're curious about starting your own podcast. So you'll know exactly where to market and then what to say. I have a lot of modules on messaging specifically. So your Instagram will have the chance of getting more views and gaining traction, just like Alice, just like Sharon did. So you can grow your audience and also start converting with the audience that you have. So people will read your emails. People will see your posts and say, I need this. I need to work with Lisa. I need to work with Gabby or Sarah now. And you'll feel confident when you show up because it's all based upon your strengths. It's all based upon your aligned philosophies. You know how to launch. I'll give you a step-by-step process to launch your online program, to when to bring in emails, what to post, what to do, what are Instagram stories, how to make it all come together with your workshops. So as I said, you'll develop your workshop system, and these workshops can be done in person, it can be done online. You can do it right away like Casey did, or you can wait and get more confidence and then bring them in later. It's up to you. And again, your ecosystem and your strengths, but you'll know how to fill a room with buyers who are ready to work with you. I built a sales page builder. So in between calls, if you wanted to build a registration page for a workshop, you can drop it in there with specific messaging. It's not generic. It's going to be specific to you and your strengths and your audience, and it'll give you that registration builder in just a few minutes. Again, I have an Instagram program. We have bonus calls. I run 6-week Instagram intensives that they're bonus calls to our month. There's three calls a month. Our main calls. Where you can ask Instagram specific questions. I have people that come and they want their bio reviewed, or they want to learn how to make a B-roll style reel, or what is a B-roll style reel? What is a talking head? How do I do that? How do I bring the captions on? What do I say in the captions? How do I do Instagram stories? We do all that on bonus Instagram calls. So I'm running the Instagram intensive. We're just wrapping up on one, and I will be running it again for this cohort coming in. And you'll always know what to say and what to post. And if you're wanting to transition online, you don't want to let go of your job fully yet, you don't want to let go of your in-person practice fully yet, that's totally fine. I teach you how to transition online. I prepare you for the transition so you don't make the mistakes that I made, where it had to be all or nothing, black or white, where I burn it down in a way that really stalled my revenue. I'm going to help you do this so revenue keeps coming in the door. And then you figure out your sweet spot. Maybe you're a hybrid 50-50, or maybe you are more like me where you're working towards 100% online. But my goal with this, when you get in, is that you get your roadmap. And I have a bonus for you that helps you to do this actually. And you make your money back for this program, and you get profitable in the first 30 days. It is possible. And I've had many people do this. And the roadmap, when you come in, you're going to get that in your first week, and you are going to have the exact process to make this through. So I have a bonus for those of you that feel like, okay, Allison, I'm kind of interested, but I'm a little worried about a group program because I want to make sure I get your eyes on what I'm doing. And I'm nervous because I've been in other programs before where there's been hundreds of people and no one knew my offer or my program. Now, my coach does not want me to offer this bonus, so you're not going to see this again. If you buy live right now, the program is $2,000, pay in full. You can use this QR code. There are payment plans. You will get DM access. So this is through a private channel. No one else will see. You can send me a personal message, and during business hours, Monday through Friday, I will respond and answer your question. So you can get motivation from me if you're feeling stuck. You can ask me a strategy question, and I'll help you through. And you get that for the length of the program. This can change everything for you. I have Voxer with my coach. I'm in a group program myself in a mastermind, and I have Voxer. And I mean, I don't even message her every single week. I message her if I feel stuck or if I need a little pick me up. And I feel like if I were to pay her, in fact, if she doesn't, she's making changes to her program for next year. And for a while, those of us in her mastermind didn't know if she was going to offer it. And I'm like, if I just paid her what I paid her this year for her Voxer access by itself, that in itself, it's worth the money. And you're getting this as a bonus for me. So it's only if you purchase live right now. So when this webinar ends, this bonus, it goes away and you're not going to see it again. So if you're the type of person that knows that they want a little bit more individualized support and help, pull up your phone, go to the QR code right now and get in. And the reason why I'm only making it available right now is because I'm limiting. There are a certain amount of people. I have some clients that have the DMs right now from when I offered it as a bonus the last time. And again, this is the last time I'm offering it though, because there's a limited amount of people that I can help at one time. So you're not going to see it again. So make sure if this is important to you to purchase it now. Now, if you're watching on the replay or you're like, okay, I am intrigued by this program. I really want to make revenue online. I really want to hit six figures without overworking. I want more freedom in my schedule. I want to get out of that time for money trade. I have a bonus for you. If you need to think about it off the call just a little bit, I will give you a form when you sign up. If you register and enroll by Friday, this Friday at midnight, the first thing you'll do is you'll get a congratulations celebratory post from me. And it'll say you're in. And then you're going to fill out a brief form where you're going to tell me where you're stuck and what you're really hoping to create and questions about your audience or who you really want to attract, the program you want to build or where you feel stuck with that process. And I am going to send you a personalized roadmap. So it'll have the step-by-step process and how to hit the 5 to 10K months, your 90-day action plan without the guessing. So you can pull that out at any time and you can bring it and ask me questions about it on the calls, but you'll know your step-by-step process. So this is only good to Friday, this personalized roadmap. The bot that will walk you through the steps when you get in the program, that will always be there. That's in there for everyone. This is a personalized roadmap actually made by me, having my eyes on your business. And if all this program did without those bonuses, give you that repeatable system where you had the online program, where you had the marketing system, where you had the repeatable system for your workshops that allowed you to hit 10K months without working more, to get out of that grind and that old school system. I'll tell you, my coach, she tells me that I should be charging $5,000 or $6,000 or even $10,000 for this program. So in the future, in the fall, I don't know if this price is going to be the same. Right now it is $2,000 and I have a 6-month payment plan. So that's 6 payments of $384. So you get a slightly better deal if you do pay in full. But right now, I want to help a lot of people. And so the price is $2,000 right now. I can't guarantee that it's not going to change in the future. And it's 100% worth it if you make $2,000 back in 6 months, which 100% you have the potential to do. But if you have a 100K system that's rinse and repeatable, I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's going to help you pay off your loans. It's going to help you create that generational wealth. It's going to help prevent that you don't quit this industry that you love and spend so much time and energy and money investing into, right? This is well worth it to ensure that you stay here and you help the people. So you might be thinking, okay, well, it's summertime, Allison. It's June. I don't know if This is the best time for me. My kids just got out of school. It's mayhem over here. I mean, we just went through Maycember. Here's the thing. I have clients that hit their biggest summer months working with me. 10K months more. They've never made that much money in their life. They came to me making 2 or 3K, and it wasn't working more. My client Julie, she's featured on the podcast if you want to hear her story, and she's also on my website. She came to me at decades working as a practitioner, and she was stuck at 2 to 4K revenue months. She tells me she was giddy because she hit her first 10K month. We're in her first 6 months working with me, working less hours. So here's the thing. If you start with me now, you're going to get the system that frees up your time for this summer, for right now, so you can enjoy your summer right now. I want you to not have another summer where you're teaching on the weekends and in the evenings and with clients in the evenings when you could be in your backyard watching the sunset go down with your family. Because I can tell you that is my life now. And I was the practitioner that was in the yoga studio in the summers when my daughter was with my dad, or her dad, my husband, and I was not there. I was missing weekends at the beach. I was missing weekends at the pool. And I want you to have the best summer right now, earning the most money you can. And when you get in, we're going to hit the ground running so you have the best summer. In fact, that is our focus for June. And I have a bonus coming up as well that is going to teach you all about AI and how to use AI so you can be more effective with your time and more profitable. So you don't waste money with VAs and contractors that you don't need early on so you can take more home. All right, so we're going to move into Q&A. I'm going to cycle through the question box and see what questions you guys have. And I also have some questions prepared. But again, if you want that bonus, the DM bonus, make sure that you're signing up now while I go through these Q&As so you can get that DM bonus. Literally, if you sign up now, you're going to get in. And by tomorrow, you're going to start having DMs with me so you can have your best summer. Okay, I'm going to cycle through the chat and then I'll get to some questions I have prepared that are, I've taught a lot of webinars, so they're my most frequently asked questions. Okay, so we have some Instagram handles. We have some people from massage therapists in Canada, physical therapists. Okay, Sarah, what can I do online that isn't physical therapy? So I did this as a physical therapist. I went online to help people with their back pain. And I have a lawyer on the podcast so she'll help you with this. Or he's on the podcast and he'll say this. And then I'm also having a lawyer come into the community in this summer. And I've talked to many lawyers being in the online industry now for a while. And I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to teach you from the legalities perspective, but I'll tell you what I did and what lawyers told me. And they told me that as long as you're telling the client and they're signing a contract that says you're not doing physical therapy, you're not doing rehab, you're doing wellness, then you can work with people online as a wellness practitioner, not a physical therapist. So you're not going to be a physical therapist online. And I have some of my clients that let go of their physical therapy license, but you don't have to do that. I didn't let go of my physical therapy license, but you can if you want. And if you have any modalities like yoga or a nutrition certification or a somatic certification, then you can utilize those as well. Now, physical therapy will always trump, right? Which is why you need the contracts and the specific verbiage that says that you're doing wellness and not physical therapy. So I used to say, you're coming into a wellness and yoga, because I was a yoga teacher, yoga certified program to help, you feel better in your body and get stronger so you have less back pain. Massage therapy student, soon to be licensed, want to stay in your scope? Yes, you can do that. All this is applicable. All that I've gone over is applicable to this. Oh, another PT recently certified in lifestyle medicine. I love that. Yes, you need to schedule for more flexibility and physical presence. Yes, exactly, Brittany. Brittany, so good to see you. It's been a long time. Taylor is a health and wellness licensed board practitioner, also musician. Oh, that's a unique combo. She asked how to shift online. I, you know, it depends on if you want to have Tyler. If you're still here, you can drop in the chat or you can catch this on the replay. I would say if you want a separate musician program versus a program for your massage clients, then you might want a separate account. But there are for sure ways to integrate. I actually have a yoga teacher, somatics practitioner. She does neurophysio, neuro modalities to help people with their back pain and get stronger. And she is a musician as well. And she actually is super creative on Instagram and brings that work into her content and her program. So 100% you don't need to have a separate account because managing more than one accounts, that gets tedious. Celia is tied to the insurance model but want to shift the perspective. Most people in Ontario have covered health benefits. Yeah. So you'd have to check with what is covered virtually um, for Canada. You could go virtual easily and have, if it is covered as telehealth, but then you'd be limited to your geographic area, which is fine. It's an easy, simple way to start. And then you can start transitioning out of the insurance model if you wanted for more flexibility and freedom. Ah, Michelle, your dog licked the screen. Ah, that's hilarious. You're a massage therapist, but the sessions are more relaxation focused. Yeah, you're working with the nervous system. So it's looking at the outcomes that people are getting and loving from your massage um, sessions there, the results they're achieving there, and then working backwards and saying, well, how will I achieve that online? That's what you do. And that's what we'll do in the program. How is the summer container that you'll be offering different work from working one-to-one with me? So if you want to work one-to-one with me, you're welcome to schedule a consult call and I'm happy to talk to you, Melissa, or anyone. How it's different is that one-to-one, you get access to this group program for free. So my one-to-one program is $7,500 for 6 months, or I have a payment plan that equates to $8,000 for the 6 months. And so you get this whole entire program for free as part of that. And then you can show up to the group calls. You can be part of the community. It's all a bonus. And you get 3 30 to 45-minute one-to-one calls with me a month. That DM offer, that's only a bonus for the group right now. You get that you get that with the one-to-one, which is why I'm capping it, because I do have a bunch of one-to-one clients that I work with that already get DM. So you get DM with one-to-one. You also get the ability to submit items like a registration page or workshop sequence for feedback. So you get more touch points with me one-to-one. So that's how it's different. Maggie would love to know more about out-of-state issues. So I covered that. It's making sure, and again, I point you to the right people in the program so you get set up for all of that. So let me know if you have follow-up questions on that, Maggie. Is it possible to get the link in the chat? I'm on my phone. Yes, of course. I will drop the link in the chat. And if you are interested in one-to-one, then there is a consult link there as well. You can book a consult. And you can book a consult too if you have questions for the group program. Let me just get the link for you, for all of you here. I'm happy to answer your questions. If you are needing or wanting a consult, just make sure the doors are closing for the program and this bonuses, and make sure you're getting in for the AI workshop that's live with me only for the program, the people in the program. The doors close June 12th, so next Friday. So make sure you fully register before then. Here is the link. There you go for everyone. And I'm going to pull my screen back up because actually, while I'm here, I'm going to show you guys the bot because I'm really excited about it when you come into the program. If you've been in programs before, you felt lost. I made this for you. I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. So whether you're new or a current client, you can use it. So help me to figure out where you start. It's going to start asking you questions. Are you a new client or you're an existing client? Because my existing clients, let's say you accomplished a goal and now you don't know what to do. So then it points you in your next steps. So I'm going to say new. And then it's going to start to ask questions about your modalities, who you are, your experience. So it's going to extract the information to give you your personalized roadmap and point you in the direction in the program. So I'm very excited about this. I'm just releasing it. I spent a lot of time making it. So it has my intellectual property and frameworks in here to make sure that you are pointed in the right direction and you're not just given generic information. So there's the link to join. And again, if you join right now, you get access to the DM access to me, or you can book a call. And there are limited spots for the call. So I believe I only had 1 or 2 spots this week and a couple next week. So make sure to book it now because they will fill up. If you have trouble getting in, if they're already taken right now, just email me. That's fine. Okay, let me come back to the chat there. I'm going through the questions, and then I have some questions as well. Okay. I feel like I'm not sure if I can translate my practice into online programs. I'm an occupational therapist, craniosacral therapist that focuses on infant feeding and development. I love this, Rosemary. Yes, 100%. It can. I mean, you already mentioned the result right there, infant feeding, that the babies get the nutrition and the calories, the intake that they need. That's the result. So then we just work backwards using your skills to create the online program. You have the information within you. And I would literally just walk you through that process. 100% you can do that online. That's so exciting. And how needed is that, right? You're going to be saving babies and moms. You're going to be allowing them to sleep at night so they're not stressed and anxious about their babies, which is also going to allow them to care for if the baby has siblings better, right? There's a whole ripple effect with that. Allison, I work with adults who don't necessarily have pain goals to achieve result driven. I love this. Allison, it's so good to see you. They just want gentle exercise, relaxation, and stretching. Would love to know how to create online programs for this type of client. Yeah, so exactly. Sharon, who you saw in the presentation, very similar demographic. In fact, she created a term for it. She's a seasoned body and she helps seasoned bodies, right? But within that, there still can be results oriented. So, for example, they might wake up in the morning with stiffness and soreness. So if you were to ask them, why do they want gentle relaxation and stretching? There's a reason behind, right? No one just wants yoga to show up to yoga, right? I love yoga. I'm a practitioner of yoga for over 20 years. But the reason why I show up, even though I say I love yoga, is not for yoga. I show up to yoga because of the benefits yoga gives me in my life. I'm a better mom. I'm a more patient partner. I show up more confidently to my business. I'm replenished, right? So, those are the questions that you need to start digging deeper within yourself or even asking your clients to get the answer to. And then we develop a program off that. Because right now, what you're kind of intuitively hitting upon is that gentle exercise sometimes isn't enough to sell an online program, right? And for sure, you're not going to stand out from all the other practitioners online offering relaxation and stretching. It's just not going to, it's not unique enough. It's not going to stand out. And that necessarily isn't a niche, right? You don't have to have a niche, but you do want to be specific. Dawn has two distinct offerings, and that's what we work on all of that in the program. Dawn has two distinct offerings that have distinct client bases: hypnosis practice and working with the parents of neurodivergent kids. I love this. They do have an umbrella under one theme. Will your program help people like me clarify their brand and decide if and how to present yourself as one identity? Yes. That is what I'm the expert with. I can't tell you the number of people that have come to my programs working with me one to one or in my group program who have so many modalities and skill sets and ways to help people. And it's all isolated. They're all in their own little silos for different price points, different programs. And they always tell me when we bring it under one roof, how much freedom and they're like, "Oh my God, you just freed me." They're like, "Things are simpler, it's easier and more concise, and it's more effective for the client because they don't get into decision fatigue of what they should do and how they should work with you." Does that answer your question, Dawn? If you want to unmute, you can because I see you live here. I
Oh,
saw you.
awesome. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Um, do in those cases, do you have like different Instagram accounts also?
You
Or
don't have to. It's similar to the musician question. You don't
yeah.
have to because it's much simpler to be all under one roof.
Okay, but you might
So
have a couple different offerings or something like,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
you can do it that way. And it's remembering I have so many clients that have different certifications. Like you'll come in the room and you're just going to be like with other practitioners with like a lot of certifications and ways they help people. It's remembering I teach on Instagram how to make one post speak to one person. It's a marketing tactic so people can resonate and know that you can help them. So yes, 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 yes. Melissa says, will you be running this group program more than one time annually? Yeah, I'm going to be doing it again, a launch like this in the fall. The difference is that these bonuses are not going to be available in the fall. The DM bonus is not going to be there for sure. Um, the price point may be changing in the fall. So there's going to be some things that are different. So yes, you can come in later, but the bonuses aren't going to be there later. Lisa says, I'm not sure I can go online right now. I'm sorry, it got cut off there. A complementary therapist, reflexology, massage, and aroma, studying somatic exercise. I love that. In the middle of emotional processing, but not certified in those two. Yes, you can still move forward, even if you're not fully certified. So when I first moved online, I was a physical therapist. I had yoga certification, um, and my massage certification. But like a lot of you, I felt a lot of imposter syndrome moving online. And what I did was with the programs, my coach that I was with, we created the program and I learned how to start selling it and get people into it while I was going. Eventually, I did additional certifications. Like a year or so later, I brought in a nutrition certification and then I brought in multiple coaching certifications. So I've just brought them in over time. And the cool thing is, because I was earning money from my online program actually paid for those additional certifications. And then I would just update the program as I went along. It just got better. And when you get better, you're going to get people more results effectively and more efficiently, and that justifies price increases. And there's ways when you're raising your price, like what I'm doing later down the road, that you can still help people that might be going through cash flow or budget challenges. There's still ways, and I teach this, that you're not going to isolate those people or abandon those people. I know all of you want to feel ethical and aligned and still help people, and there's still ways to do that. Don, you again, I think. If you already have a website, Acuity, and Zoom, what other major costs should I anticipate during this program? I love this. Website, Acuity. Do you use Google Drive? Yeah, that's all you need because you have your scheduler. Let me make sure. You have your scheduler, you have your website, you have Zoom. You can do it. You can literally sign a client tomorrow. Totally do it. Um, and incorporating insurance. So it depends on your licensure if you wanted to incorporate insurance or not. You could, as a telehealth practitioner, you could do insurance. That's going to be different than an online wellness program. And I have some people that do both. And again, you just have to make sure when someone comes to you wanting to work with you, you know how for them to distinguish if they're doing telehealth rehab or telehealth medicine versus wellness. And so that's why I help you to distinguish that for your audience because there's a difference.
Great. And just to follow up, do you talk about incorporation, different types of incorporation and all that?
Oh, yeah,
Touch
good
upon that at
question.
all?
Yeah, so again, I'm not a CPA, but I do make sure that you're set up in the right entity. You do not need to have an LLC or be an S corp. You don't need to be incorporated. You can do this as a sole practitioner, right? And then I do recommend having an accountant to help you file taxes. And when you have that person to help you file taxes, then you can ask them because this is their specialty and wheelhouse, because it all depends upon your profit on when you want to incorporate to help with your taxes, right? Because if you do it too soon, you end up paying more in taxes being incorporated, and it becomes really complex. Versus if you stay a sole proprietor, then till you hit a certain revenue mark of profit, then you want to incorporate. Unless I have some clients, and this is where I do help with, like came to me and they said, I think I might want to incorporate early. Like, for example, I have a client, she is a yoga teacher, health coach. She's also a speech pathologist. And so she wanted to incorporate because of the speech pathology, keep it separate because she was in the school system. And also, her husband works for the government. So she also wanted to make sure that her business was really separate from those entities right off the beginning. And so she did incorporate early on. I worked with her from ground zero as well. She's now hitting six figures and is now part time in the schools, and she will be leaving the schools soon. Um, so it's a personal decision, and you and the accountant can decide, but you don't have to, is the point. Good, great question. Any other questions from you, those of you live? I'm happy to answer. Just drop in the chat. I'm also going to go over some common questions I've gotten on past webinars. A lot of people ask me, how much time will the program take during my week? So there's two time questions. How much time will the program take in my week, and how much time will it take to have me get results? So I'm going to ask the time for the week. So if you are dedicating 2 to 3 hours a week, you'll get results. One of those hours is going to be to show up to the call, or as I said, there's 3 calls a month with an implementation week. That implementation week is designed so you have an hour to make sure you're implement what you're learning, so you're not just consuming, and so you always have an hour each month to be implementing the material. I'm never going to give you busy work or homework just to give you busy work or homework. Anything that I tell you to do on the call is to optimize what you're already doing to start signing clients within those first 30 days so you make your money back and start getting profitable. I mean, $2,000, if you're hitting 1 to 2K months right now, you can make that money back in 30 days. and then it's all profit and you have a system that's rinse and repeat. It's really a no-brainer. And and if you want to invest more time, 3 to 5 hours a week, you can outside of your job. And again, I say this lovingly because you can grow faster, but it doesn't, sometimes that mentality gets back into that grind modality of the more hours you work, the more sessions you have, the more classes you teach, the more revenue you'll make, because that's not true. The amount of hours that your butt is in your work, your seat for work, doing work does not necessarily equate to revenue if it's not effective work. So it's only effective if you're, having the strategy and the systems that I'm helping you to implement. If you're taking that and adding an extra hour to your week and doing that, you will grow faster. But I for sure don't want you to be spending hours and hours and working anywhere 40 hours a week or more, for sure. I work 30 hours a week or less. What about your client session? And I still do one to one. I love one to one. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of one to one. And sometimes I have 20 one to one calls a week. I don't have to. My coach has been telling me for a while now that I can reduce that amount of calls. But I just love my business. I love my work and I love my group program. And I am able to work. I only have one VA. I do all my posts. I do my webinars. I do my consultation calls. And I am able to make it work where I work 30 hours a week or less. I take off 6 to 8 weeks minimum a year for vacation time. And I'm not a special snowflake. So if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So if you have a job, you can do it. If you have other client sessions in your brick and mortar, you can do it. My whole goal is to have you do this so it doesn't take away time from your family. And then about receiving results, again, my goal is to help you get results sooner rather than later. I have many people that make their money back within the first 30 days. For sure, I have many people that are set up like Julie, where they start to hit the 8 to 10K months. They go from 2 to 3, or like Rachel, 3 to 5 to 18K months within 6 months. Um, and so you have a lot of potential to make big changes within the 6 months of working with me. For sure, by the end of the 6 months, you're going to have the repeatable systems and processes to take you to six figures. So if you're thinking, will this work for me? I've invested in other programs and I didn't see results. So here's the problem I see, and I'm very passionate about this because I get this a lot on consult calls. Like I've tried things in the past and I was just another number. I just came into a group program and no one knew me. I didn't have any individualized support. I didn't know where to go in the program. I felt lost. Or they had me do Facebook ads. I didn't want to spend more money. I don't have you do any of that, right? Just with Dawn, it's with bare minimum. And then over time, as you're making more money, if you want to layer in more software and tech, you can. But it's for sure only when you feel ready and you have the revenue to support it. And with the programs that you've tried in the past, a lot of the times you have found some knowledge, some foundational steps that you can carry into this program. And now on a call, people ask me this question a lot. How many people are on a call? It's anywhere from 10 to 20 people on a call. So it's not hundreds. I get through everyone's questions just like I did here in this webinar. Um, Again, if you can't attend the calls, I have many practitioners that sometimes have sessions in the calls or they're working their job in the calls. You can submit questions in the community to ask for support. The community will help you. I will message you. If you have DM, you can reach out to me via DM. That's why it's so important as well, if you like that individualized support. Regardless, if you're more quieter, I know I'm an introvert. So when I first started investing in group programs, I was quieter. I was shy. And I didn't really raise my hand a lot on the calls. And I still got so much benefit from those programs. Some of those programs, I was in a program that I invested $25,000 for 6 months. And there was hundreds of us in this program. I got coached from my client one time, or my coach personally one time, because I was so shy in the beginning to raise my hand. And I more than doubled my revenue. And so that's how I believe that you can still hit results in group programs. And I've also, for the people that are shy like me, made sure that you're not going to be lost in the crowd and you can still get your questions answered. So if you don't want to unmute yourself on a Zoom call or show your camera, you can always drop it in the chat, just like Dawn did, and I will ask. Or many of you did, dropped it in the chat. It's not a problem. Or you can drop it in the community. Or if you want to be really private, then make sure that you get the DMs. Because here's the truth. You're not undereducated. You can 100% get more certifications. That's going to help ensure results in your programs. But real truth is you're under supported. You really haven't had the feedback that you need where someone's actually looking at your Instagram posts, where someone's looking at your Instagram bio, where someone's looking at your offer, your emails, what is happening in your program for renewals, for example, or your consultation calls or your workshops. All these questions people bring to the calls, and I personally get them answered for you. So that is how I help to ensure results and help to give you feedback. Another thing that's in this program is, so we just started on June. So June 1st, I sent out a message to my community and I had them fill out a brief form. Literally, it'll take 5, maybe 7 minutes. And I get a pulse point on every person in the community. Whoops, I spelled my name wrong there. And I give you a little bonus. If you fill out the form, I'll give you, right now, I'm offering that bonus. If you fill out the form, I'll give you a personalized suggestion for the month of June going forward. So I've had many people fill out the form. I'm going to give them personalized suggestions for June. And it allows me to see where you are in the program. So I have the pulse on your business in the program. So you're not going to get lost or you can't hide. um, in a loving way, I will track you down and I will make sure that either you're getting progress or I am going to figure out why you're stuck. I figure it out every single time. If you get stuck, I will figure it out and get you back on track. And you have the group calls, you have the community, you have the builders that I built using my frameworks. You will always have an answer. You will never get lost. So again, just to run through the bonuses, if you purchase right now, live on the call, you're going to get DM access from me for the 6 months. It's a private channel. No one else can see, especially if you're shy or introverted. And you're not going to see this bonus again on a live call like this and off the call, you're not going to see it because I need to make sure that I can support the people that I do have in my DMs and my one-to-one people. The other bonus, if you're watching this on the replay or you just want to think about it or you scheduled a consult call with me, then if you book by Friday, if you sign up and pay by Friday or start the payment plan by Friday, I'm going to look at what's going on in your business personally, and I'm going to give you your own individualized revenue roadmap with your 3 steps. So I'm going to break down the 3 steps that we taught in this webinar. If you're like, no, workshops aren't right for me right now, I'm going to give you your individualized 3 steps where you can just walk through step by step by step. And if you sign up now, you're going to get this as well. So there's no guessing. You know exactly what to do for you. And this bonus ends by Friday. And then I also have a bonus you'll see that is going to be coming out where I'm going to do an AI workshop. It's for my clients only on how to use AI ethically in an aligned way so it feels authentic for you, your voice, your brand, to save you time and help you get more profitable. So you'll get access to the AI workshop. If you have to do this, if you sign up, the doors will close for this by June 12th, Friday, June 12th. So I'm just going to take a pause here. For those of you live, are there additional questions? I'm going to look through the chat. Raven, do I separate my online business and person licensed massage to protect my state license? Is this covered in the course? Yes, this is covered in the course. So it depends on your goals. And this is why I say I'm going to cover this in the course because I want to get a little bit more information about your goals. But there's two ways to do it. You can separate your online business from your in-person business and keep them separate, and you can combine them as well. And some of that is dependent upon your goal. So, yes, we will be going over that. And Allison says, I'm not currently working. I have a 6 week old. Huge congrats, Allison. I'm so happy for you. Will I be able to work on this program with the idea that I will implement it later this year? Yes, 100%. You got 6 months. That's so much time. And doing this now will help ensure that you can spend as much time with this baby as possible. Because, I was in the place when my daughter was 3 months. And that's when I first started my business 10 years ago when my daughter was 3 months old, and I was grinding it out, and I missed out on those moments with her that I can't get back. However, I try to make up for it now. But it even makes me a little teary and emotional to think about it. And I did that for a few years, working weekends and evenings, and I was exhausted. Even when I was home, sometimes I wasn't present with her because I was on the couch so tired, and I wanted to be. I'd be trying to play from the couch, but I was so tired. So I don't want that for you. Yes. So yes, yes, yes. Spend all the time with the babies. Brittany, similar to Allison's question, can the groundwork, structure, and bones be created without implementing going live with content right away? Yes. Yes, we can set the foundation. And sometimes people come in just wanting to learn and doing it as their confidence and when they feel ready. And sometimes it happens faster than they think. And it's simpler than they think. But yes, it's all at your own pace. All at your own pace. I love these questions. Any more questions here from those of you live? Since we have a small group now, if any of you want to unmute yourself, you're welcome to do that, or ask me in the chat. I'll take a sip of water and wait. But I would love to work with you all. It is totally possible with the skill set, what you have right now, to do this. It's just coming in and learning the strategy, getting confident behind it, and then essentially you start giving yourself permission more to really show up and have a business that you love and one that enables you to enjoy the life that you want to live. So you're building a business that fits the lifestyle you want to live and not the other way around. Any other additional questions? I'm happy to stay on longer. I'll think of, see if there's other common questions that we haven't gone over yet. I'm thinking we've gone through them all. Usually it's like, what if I can't show up to the group calls lives? You can still get touch points with me through the community and through jumping in with the AI bot, and you'll in the progress notes, I'll always know where you are in your business. So I think we've answered all the questions for today. I'm excited to see you in the program. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to help you change your business and have the ripple effect where it changes your life. This has been life changing for me, this work. And I want you to be able to do that as well. Brittany, you're very, very welcome. It's so good to see you again. I'm so glad you came. All right. So I will see you all in the group community or on Instagram online. All right. Thank you so much for showing up today. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Bye for now. And the replay will be sent out too automatically. So you'll all get that. Alrighty. Bye for now.